Hey guys, how's it going? And today we are going to be covering how to do the Evoker spell in Minecraft, similar to how the Evoker shoots his fangs in a row at the player. We're going to just be recreating it. It's going to be very quick, kind of. I'll try and make it fast. It's got a couple things to cover. We're going to be covering some ray casting, lots of execute stuff, and stuff like that. So let's just go ahead and start. So this is actually going to be a string from my spells tutorial, but you don't have to worry, or at least I'll link the other videos, but I'll just be using that as the core code. So the spells tutorial basically just goes over giving yourself a carrot on a stick that has a spell ID with a value, and so when you right click the carrot on a stick, it just goes to spells directory, and then directory figures out what element it is, and then just like this. I'm sorry for the loading times. So when you right click, that's cast, it gets the element, and based on the element it goes to a different directory, and then based on that it does something else. So we're going to go ahead and do spell ID 2, ignore other things that I didn't cover in the tutorial because they were just things I was testing, but we're going to do a dark spell called Evoker. Now if you're not doing it my way, you would just set this up in the source directory. Function paths are definitely going to be different for you, or you can set it up however you want. So evoker / init. Alright, so this is just how I'm going to be interfacing it. You can come up with your own way to interface it however you want to do it. So we need a spell ID of 2 and element of 8. Alright, so this will get us here. So that this is just like a quick way for me to set it up so that we can get a right click detection to trigger this. Alright, so you go with evoker. Then we need a function here called init. Okay, so basically what you want to do is spawn, let's say, 4 fangs in the direction the player is looking, but on the ground. So that's the trick to it, but on the ground. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a ray casting line so we're going to move in the direction the player is looking, aligned with the ground, already facing the ground. Then we're going to ray cast down until it hits the real ground, just in case I'm like here, and I look like that. It'll go on the real ground, and then it will align to the real ground. So we're going to need to basically just play raycast at different positions that will just shoot straight down to try and find the earth. So one thing immediately that would be useful is for here we do add rotated 0. So doing this basically says get rid of the Y rotation, just keep the X and Z rotation, this rotation, but get rid of this rotation, because we aren't trying to shoot this thing up in the air. Doing this will make your raycast take less time. Now inside here, we just do execute positioned forward in the player's direction by 1, run function spells dark evoker raycast. Okay, so this will play it there, and there. So we're going to play it in 4 positions. 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we're just going to do the same thing 4 times. In the raycast, let's go ahead and get this started. Let's go. You want to play this function, but instead you're just going to position it down 1 each time. You're going to play itself again and again, and we're going to do execute unless this block is air. Run, then we're going to align to the y-axis, and what this will do is it'll cut off anything extra. So if I'm like right here, I'm not like standing on the block, and then I do align y, it'll move the command to be right on top of the block. And then summon right here, evoker fangs, and I don't know the name of it, so and I put it in the wrong order. Noob. Alright, so let's go ahead and move that just like that. And then this will move down if the block is air. Alright, so this is an important distinction. If you put it here, then it will stop while it's inside a block. If you put it here, it will stop right before it goes inside a block. And So that's the distinction, but you want it to go inside the block and then play this up 1. So that way we stop once we're inside a block, right? Because it says if this is air, this condition will only turn off when you are playing the command from inside a block. And once you do that, then this will trigger for the one time that this doesn't trigger. And when this happens, you're inside a block, so you need to move 1 up so you're outside the block. All right, so that's actually pretty much it. So let's type reload. And boom, already working. And as you can see, it does it in a line and on the ground. You can see that see how it spawned on this block and up 1? Perfect. Now we have 2 more things. First off, test this. All right, I don't take damage. Cool. You can mess with that to try and like put them on the same team. I don't really know how that works. There's one more issue. You don't want this to happen. Yeah, you don't want that to happen. That's a bit OP, in my opinion. So you want to have some kind of limit to it. So let's go ahead and do some kind of limiter. So if score, and again, this really depends on what commands you have. So we're going to have to add a command if we don't have one. We don't. Okay. So we're going to have a command called range, a score called range. So if score at s range matches 1, and each iteration, we're going to do scoreboard players remove at s range 1. And one extra distinction would probably be to make this less than -1. Jumping by 1 block each time is not necessarily a big deal, but there is cases where you could jump over. Probably not. Let me think. Nah, you're fine with that. If you're really paranoid, you could change this to 0.5 and it would behave the same way. It's just like it will play more commands and make sure that it would check more blocks. So anyways, so we're removing 1 from range. So this is going to limit range, but our range score is nothing right now. So we need to set a range score. So before this, we need to do scoreboard players set at s range. And how many blocks are we going to check? 5. If you make this thing 0.5, then you need to make this number 2 times as big. So this would be, it'll go down 5 blocks. So your maximum reach for this thing is 5. So it actually doesn't work there, doesn't work there, doesn't work there, doesn't work there. Now it works because it's down. It goes down about 1, 2, 3, 4-ish. You can tweak that. You can mess with that value until you get the right one that you like. So that's pretty much it. One last thing, closing thought. I would actually use something. I think I already have a block tag, but I would use a block tag. So tags, nope. Let's see. Data, Minecraft, tags, blocks, my air. Okay, I put it in a weird space, but I would use like my own. This is probably not good practice to put it in the Minecraft namespace, but you can do a block tag, my air, and this is just going to like allow it to go through glass and allow it to go through levers. So I would just like make more things that it's allowed to go through. So Minecraft : wooden / execute if block. Here you go. There's a block tag for all the types of wooden pressure plates, so you can include that. So right now, without this, if I put a pressure plate, it will spawn on top of the pressure plate. You can see that. But now that I added it to check a block tag, it will spawn, let me see. That's a comma. Copy this here. Okay. So now it's spawning on the pressure plate as if it's like air. So that block tag just lets you depict like what things it's allowed to spawn on top of. And I would do that for like carpets, maybe slabs, I don't know. You can mess with that. But that's pretty much it. Very simple. Really just 1, 2, 3 commands. And then 3 commands for the raycast, and then 8 commands for the actual initial cast. Let's see. Evoker init. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 3. So you have 11 commands, and 2 function files, and then you need some way to initialize it, but that's up to you. You can just type the function for now. But come up with a way similar to this. If you want to see my other spells tutorial videos, the links will be in the description. This will be on a playlist, I think. And I set up the initial core code that you saw here in the first episode. Anyways, other than that, guys, just a quickie. I have a bunch of other cool stuff coming up, but I'm really busy right now. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.